Thank you for a great Saturday. Grab dinner, get some water. Have a great day, buddy. Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Just getting word.
What?
We've got one other guest. They're saying it's going in and out. It sounds like Michael Bollins.
I'll tell you this. Our next guest, all he needs is a van with tinted windows to go with that trench coat, and he'd be America's favorite pervert. Put your hands together for Misha Collins!
Some kind of fantasy that I had singing Angel by Aerosmith while you whip me with the homemade Hawaiian lei.
It's not just some kind of fantasy, it's a very specific fantasy that you've been talking about for a long time.
It was a very specific fantasy, and now it is a GIF.
Dear Diary, it finally happened.
I can assure you that is a moving image that exists right now and is being shared with family and friends alike. Misha.
Yeah.
First trip to Hawaii? Stop, that's creepy.
It's funky, right? It smells like licorice. Now it doesn't.
I think those are your fingers.
It's a present for me.
No, Misha, first trip to Hawaii. Have you been here before? Have you been to the state of Hawaii?
Yes, I have.
Well then, poo on you, because that makes it not interesting.
No, I have not.
Ah, interesting. Yeah. So, have you done anything? You've just gotten here, like you just. Did you...
Well, I'll tell you, I have done very little.
Okay.
I had dinner last night with Rob.
All right. Well, that's.
I did.
So that can be any given city.
It was like sort of torture, trying to, extract conversation from the group. But it was that was the highlight of the trip so far.
Well, just be glad no members of the band were there. That would have ruined the night. We're just run into a screeching halt. Awesome. Are you going to do anything? Are you going to tour? Are you going to do anything exotic?
Nope.
You're a real
I'm a
wet rag, man. I tell you.
I've been to Hawaii a couple of times in the past. We were in Kauai, and has anyone been there? And we went and we hiked out the Nepali Coast Trail. Has anyone done that? It's one of the most beautiful hikes I've ever been on. It's about 11 miles out to the end. We were with a big group of people. There was like 7 or 8 of us, and for some reason we started late. It got dark. We didn't have flashlights, so we ended up just sleeping out on the ground before getting to the destination beach. Then the next day we walked to the beach, and it was like walking into paradise, because there's this community, or at least when I went, it was like 10 years ago, there was this community of hippies that lived out at the end of the trail in the national park or state park or something, and they lived in the woods, and they lived off of the wild goats and the fish, and they were all naked. So you get to the beach.
Rewind that? They were doing what now?
They were wonderful. And so
I heard naked. I didn't hear wonderful. I heard nude.
You get to the beach, and there's all of these, naked hippies roasting a goat, and it was just amazing.
Is that a euphemism?
Yes. And then the rangers came up in a boat, and everybody scattered into the woods, except for us. And they're like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" We were like, "No, that's not our goat." What? That's not. That goat meat on my face is from another goat from before that I brought from home. So that was cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm not naked.
That's not
my pants
naked
happen to
body.
have a phallus on them. So it just makes it look like I'm naked. Good stuff.
On that note,
Misha Collins.
I feel like we got off to the right start for this particular audience. I understand that some of these panels have been starting a little blue, shall we say. I apologize for that. Want to be very upfront with you. My act up here is very squeaky clean. Okay, so let's back up for a second. My mother-in-law is in the audience today. And I just would love it if you guys would confirm how squeaky clean and above board my performance usually is. I have known, Fran probably didn't think I was going to talk about her when she said, hey, I might stop by. Did you? So, I was thinking about the fact that I've known you, Fran, for, what, like 27 years? Or however long I've known my wife, somewhere in that ballpark. And I think we got off to a slightly rocky start. I was just reflecting on that because, so I was a day student in high school, which meant that I was like a local kid, and they had this, it was like this fancy prep school, high school that I went to, and most of the students were boarding students who were shipped to the school by their parents because the parents no longer liked them. But I was a local kid, and they had this like program that had been in place since the founding of the school, where like local kids who didn't have a lot of money got scholarships to come to the school so they could feel better about stuff. And so I was the day student, and I met Vicky there, and she was a boarding student. And her parents, and you can vouch for this, had shipped her away because they didn't like her. And we, started dating. We didn't call it dating, called it a relationship. And I was like, you should come spend the weekend at my house. And she was like, great idea. And then she was like, but I don't think my mom's gonna go for that. And so we tried something a little bit risque, a little daring, which was Vicky asked her mom to write a note saying that she did have permission to go visit her friend Misha. Did not specify my sex. And so Fran thought that I was a girl and was like, yeah, no problem, go have fun, girls. And we did. So then, after that, I remember like after the first time I came down to DC, she was living in Northern Virginia at the time, and I went down and visited, and after I left, you told Vicky that I was, quote, not bad for the product of a divorce, I think. Which sounds like a pretty solid endorsement. And then, but when I went down there, you were having none of it, because you were like, you lied to me, you scum. So I was like, I'm gonna come down and visit. I was gonna come down and stay, I thought, at their place. Nope. Neighbor's basement. It was awesome. What? I don't know if she would say I don't know if she would still say I was not bad. She's like, yeah, I might. Anyway, thanks for coming, Fran. Good to see you. What do you guys want to talk about today? Do you have anything in particular you want to talk about? You do?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. What?
Hi.
Hi. By the way, isn't Hawaii beautiful?
Yeah. I don't want to go home.
How many people actually live here? Oh my God, do you just walk around feeling better than other people all the time? Yes, we do.
I have a question for you, but hearing that Fran is in the audience, I just wanted to say what a big fan I am of Vicky's as well and her writing. So if you would pass that on. Hopefully one day I'll get to tell her.
Okay,
But
all right.
she has fans too. I really enjoyed the last episode that aired, Tombstone. It was pretty awesome.
Yep.
I think it's been my favorite this season so far, so do you have any stories about filming that one? Was it fun dressing up or anything silly going on?
Well, I have not yet seen the episode. I'm a little behind, so please don't spoil it for me. But So I haven't seen the episode, but I did see an earlier cut of the like the slow-mo walk-up. What did that look like?
It was actually pretty awesome.
But it was like kind of badass, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that is the magic of editing, because I did this thing that I thought was really funny that they cut out, which was I walked like what's his name? I had the idea like Cass is the worst cowboy ever, and I had him walk like Woody from Toy Story. So I was like. And somehow I was like, how did you do that? How did you edit it to make it not look totally like a ridiculous string puppet? And they did, which is just goes to show you they can make the worst garbage look good if given enough time in post-production. Which means you can just phone it in. It's great news. Yeah, it was really. I was like, wait, how did you possibly turn that into badass? Because what I did was the opposite of badass. Yeah, we were walking, and then we got to the end, like right to the end, and we were to the guy, and Jensen just was like, "What are you doing?" It was funny. I love the hat that they gave me too. That was badass. Badass. Another funny thing about that episode was, you know, the gag is like the Dean is totally into cowboy stuff, and like, you know, he's just like super excited about it. There's no question at all that Jensen was like, man, I like this cowboy shit. You know, like just checking himself out. Hello, cowboy. Aloha, cowboy. So there's some behind the scenes stuff for you there.
Thank you, that was excellent.
Hi.
Hi.
So my question is, what was your favorite scene to film this season?
Well, I enjoyed doing the my favorite scene to film, my favorite episode to film was the one where, episode 1, because I was a dead body, lying on a table. We came in, we did 2 takes. Sheet goes over the head. Dean, very filled with angst, walks over the table, hits me in the balls, but that did not make the cut. By the way, after that happens, so the scene was Cass is lying prone. That's redundant. Cass is on the table, and Dean pulls the sheet over his dead face. Very sad moment. Now, Cass, portrayed by the actor Misha Collins, cannot see what's going on anymore. And he is rigid with fear. And Dean, played by the malicious actor Jensen Ackles, knows this. And so he hits me in the balls. And I leap up. But unfortunately, that is not the last take. So I have to go through just the anxiety and torment of wondering when that's going to come again. It was, but anyway, great episode to shoot, because I was in and out in about 45 minutes. And I also thought it was a stirring performance from me. I looked dead. Well, not dead, but, you know, asleep. Or at least like I had my eyes shut. Which is what I was trying to go for. I liked shooting the empty, because it was such a strange thing to do, and it was, I've never experienced something like that on set. We were all trying to figure out how it would go together. And we were using this equipment that we haven't used before. this motion control camera that's a very elaborate, large apparatus. And so everybody was like, how is this gonna, how are we gonna get two of your face on the screen at the same time? How is this gonna work? And we kept on, we'd do a take, and then the director would be like, okay, I think we've got it. You know what? Well, switch characters. And I'd be like, okay, switch characters. No, you know what? Switch back. And so I was really losing my mind. And I think you could see it in the performance. Very uneven, and the accent completely inconsistent. What accent even was that? Nobody knows. I certainly didn't know. So I think it was a raging success, though. And then the cowboy business was pretty fun too. It was fun. Yeah. But you don't want to talk about this anymore. I can tell. You're like, I want to go sit down. Is there another panel on right now that I can go to?
No, I'm just nervous. Thank
Are you really?
though.
Okay. Well, Jim can help you out, right? He's like, what? Jim backstage, he had that whip thing, and he was like, and he was really getting into it. He's like, you have to take this out on stage. And it provided a certain insight into your character that I didn't know about. Go sit down. Hi.
Hey, Misha.
How are you?
Wonderful.
Who is this enormous person?
This is my angel, Kendall.
Hi, Kendall is your name?
Yeah.
Kendall, are those real flowers in your hair? Yes, can I see? No, did you say, or yes? Oh, cool. Here, would you like my flowers? You want some extra flowers? Here, these, come here. You can take that. They, probably don't take stuff like this from strangers, but, yeah, they can come off if you want to just like rip it apart.
Hello?
What's that? Do you want to come stand up here and look at everybody? You can if you want. Yeah. Here, you can take that. Do you want me to put it on for you? Okay. Sure. Look at all those people. I think they're watching you. You want to say hi to everybody? This, do you know, this makes your voice louder if you talk into it.
Hi.
What's that? Hand sanitizer? There's a lot of gross germs here, so that's a good idea.
Want to go outside? Do you want to go outside?
You want to go outside?
Hi, I'm shy.
Oh, you're shy. You're very sweet. You want to go back to your dad? Do you want to play the drums or something? We have a drum set.
Hey, Grandma has the grandpa.
You want to go home with your grandpa?
Not.
What?
Not.
Oh, you have Octonauts?
Yeah.
Great. Well, that was you worked that little plug in. Are you sponsored by that? What's that?
On right now.
It's on right now?
It's off.
It's off.
It's not on.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that update. That's so cool. All right, well, do you want to do, okay, you can say whatever. I'm going to go over here. I don't have any more stuff. Yes, I do. Here's something.
Oh, no,
Whose is this?
you can't.
This is the band's? Is this with them always?
Yeah.
Should I give it to her? Probably a good idea.
Give her the layout of that.
Every time.
Wait, what?
Every time she gets Octonaut and she was it's the my things over. Then she watched her one.
I see what you mean. Do you get paid every time you say Octonauts?
Still hugging.
Oh yeah. Did you know that I have children? Did you know that? Yeah. How could you know? But I have 2 kids, and they are starting to get really into. They're starting to get into. Yeah, you can anything you want. You can touch anything you want, and if you want to try hitting the drums over here, you can. Look, see. Oh, you don't have to go. All right, will you come back and visit later? Will you come back and visit later?
Back later, but I'm not coming back later. Come, my grandma won't come back.
Your grandma won't come back? Well, maybe you could go watch Octonauts with your grandma then.
No.
Okay, you're gonna lose your sponsorship if you say stuff like that.
Who is that weird man?
Now we can't leave me far.
Sorry, guy. I don't know who that guy is, but
No, you don't have to go. You can say. Here. So I'll tell you, since you're curious, I'll tell you about my kids. To the stairs, you think? Here, look, you can come to the stairs. You want to go to the stairs?
ah, good.
My kids are getting really into like figuring things out, how things work. Hey, sorry I didn't really answer your question, sir. So they're getting into like figuring things out and science. You know, my son was Neil deGrasse Tyson. He wanted to be Neil deGrasse Tyson for Halloween.
And he's like, oh, I'm definitely going to be an astrophysicist when I grow up. For sure. No question about it.
And so he's getting into asking a lot of, questions about, light years and Einstein's theory of relativity, and, stuff that I have a pretty solid understanding of, And he puzzles these things out, but there's still a tiny shred of childhood in West. So he was reading this book about a mouse that rides a motorcycle. And my friend Keith, who's about 40, was visiting. And West said, this is a make-believe book, he declared to Keith. And Keith said, how do you know? And he said, well, it's a talking motorcycle driving mouse. And Keith said, well, hate to tell you this, but my best friend since I was 5 years old is Ralph, who's a mouse, who's also a taxi driver. And Wes was like, really? He said, yes, he's my best friend. And that was about 6 months ago, and last week, Wes was like, hey, Mom, how long do mice live? She said, I'm not sure. She said, and then he said, do they live 35 years or more? And she said, no, definitely not. And then he said, then Keith was lying. Because there's no way he wouldn't have mentioned that his best friend had died. I just think that's amazing, like a way to arrive at that answer. There aren't other clues embedded in that story that he could unpack. It's the fact that the life expectancy of mice. Okay, hi.
Hi, Misha. My question is, if you were to envision yourself and your fellow cast members as various dog breeds, what type of dogs would you think they are?
That is a good question. Jared is a Great Dane.
Correct.
Jensen is a German Shepherd. Castiel is a Golden Retriever. And Crowley is a Chihuahua.
Seems about right.
Yep. Hi.
Hi, Misha.
How are you?
I'm fine, how are you?
Good, thank you.
I'm wondering, since the fans always find so many flaws after the episodes have aired,
They do what?
do you ever read the script and be like, okay, the fans are not going to like this?
No.
Never?
The fans do that? We don't do that to them. We don't read through their fan fiction and point out flaws in their writing. Or it's certainly not publicly. Jared, look at this. Terrible grammar. Careful. Someone's like, careful, Misha. Don't do it. But it's so tempting and it's such low-hanging fruit. Okay. I will stand down, although I had some funny things to say. Oh, that's right. My mother-in-law is here. Thank you. Thank you. She left.
Hello.
No, she really did leave. Oh no, is she still there? Is Fran still there? Oh, you just put on something because you got cold. Got it. Do you know what fan fiction or slash fiction is, or any of that stuff? No? I'll show you some later.
Stop digging the hole.
Next question.
What were we talking about?
The previous person was asking you if there was anything that you thought was weird when you read the script.
Oh yeah, that's right. So yeah, things that definitely crop up that I'm like, is that gonna work, or is that gonna? I think that one of the things that you might, you know how like, oh, I was in this. My brain does not follow a straight line. I'm finding. I was doing a looping session recently. Do you guys know what that is? It's when about 4 people do. So it's when you, after we've shot an episode, sometimes like an airplane was flying over, or you know, the sound of an eagle. That's actually a real problem for us. The eagles have this really shrill bird song, and it's very loud. And sometimes there'll be nests of eagles, and we just can't get clear audio because the eagles are screaming at us. But sometimes you have to go in to record a few lines of dialogue, and they'll put your face up on the screen while you're talking, and you have to basically lip sync yourself and say your dialogue over again. It's called looping. And I went in, and they're like, we're just wrapping something up. And it was a bunch of people, and I wasn't allowed to take pictures. They're like, and you're not allowed to take pictures. I was like, well, I'm gonna take some pictures then. And it was for the new Star Trek. They were speaking Klingon, and they were Skyping with a woman who is a great speaker of Klingon, a translator. And she was like getting these actors to do the precise pronunciation of Klingon. And it was a very cool thing, and it made me think about how in Star Trek, you know, they have this whole universe of canon that they really stick to, you know? Like the language is very specific, and they make sure that they're following the same threads, it seems. And on Supernatural, you know, it'll be like, okay, we're gonna do a little time travel thing. How do I put my hand on somebody to time travel? And everybody will be like, I don't know, it doesn't matter. Just do whatever. And, or how do I smite somebody? And we try to remember, and nobody can remember, and they're like, just do whatever, it doesn't matter. Just do whatever, it doesn't matter, is sort of our fix, and it seems to work just fine. Yeah, I think that we're more vigilant than Star Trek or any other show about making sure that we stick to established lore and we don't deviate at all in any way. I'm very proud of that. Oh, never mind. I mean, there are things sometimes I'm like, we're just not going to explain that, huh? And everybody's like, no, we're not. And we're going to get away with it. I think at some point we realized we could get away with stuff, and now it's just like, we're just like children who get away with everything. And it's great. It's very liberating. Yeah.
Or did you want that there?
Yeah. I didn't really answer your question, I know that.
It wasn't my question.
Oh, she sat down.
She sat down.
She was so disgusted with my answer that she sat down.
Oh, I see.
All right. Well, that's feedback that I can work with.
I hope I got your question right.
Was it good for you? Oh, I thought you were done. I'm sorry. Oh.
Still over there, huh, friend?
Hi.
Aloha.
Aloha.
So we know that your mom is a member of the DAR.
Yes.
You do know that, right?
Uh-huh.
So I'm a huge fan of genealogy and family history, and I was wondering if you had seen anything from your family history that you thought was super cool or interesting or weird.
Well, I just ordered the 23andMe thing because I'm just dying to know if I'm a descendant of Genghis Khan. I don't know why, but I want to get to the bottom of that. I am a great nephew of Lewis or Clark, one of those guys. And I'm excited about that fact. I think that it shows. What else can I tell you? Daughters, DAR stands for Daughters of the American Revolution, I believe. And that means that you're somebody who has relatives who were here during the American Revolution.
Yes.
Which basically means, I think, you're a white person. My grandfather at one point joined this this group because somebody invited him, and it was like Confederate. No. What was it? It was it was officers of the something. I don't know. It was officers of the British Army that had served here, during the Revolutionary War. So it was like a subset, a very specific thing. And then he got into it, and he realized, oh, I get it. Like, they picked this kind of thing that would just, exclude minorities. It was like, he just joined sort of like a little clan-like group and didn't even know it. He was like, oh, sorry, guys, I'm at the wrong party. So he left that group, sadly. And then, Mayflower. We go back to the Mayflower, too, our people.
Me too.
We are through and through old Americans.
Who's your Mayflower descendant, or your ancestor?
Oh, my ancestor from Mayflower? Giselle. I can't remember her last name. It was Giselle, I'm pretty sure. I have no idea. Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was Lewis or Clark, so you can tell that I'm a real big student of genealogy as well. I don't know what else I can tell you about that. I traced my lineage, though, back to Adam and Eve. Pretty cool.
Good job.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
Hello, Mr. Krupop. I don't think you remember me.
Wait, Mr. what?
Mr. Krupop. I'm the former Agent Joplin. I spoke to you in San Francisco. Federal Bureau of Normalcy.
Oh, okay. All right, it's coming together. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. I got fired.
Yeah. I can tell.
Well,
how's it going?
Well, losing your job is hard.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah. The director didn't like your suggestion.
Which was what?
That when we were interviewing people,
Yep.
that maybe a good addition to our toolkit would be a big strap-on. I thought it was a win-win situation. I thought I could sell it to him.
Yeah, no, I don't see why anyone would have an issue with that.
It's just found myself out on the street. It was
Strange.
But I had a follow-up question.
Okay.
It never came down to the office. I don't have any federal backing, so you have no obligation.
Okay.
But following up about the badges at the White House.
Yes.
Yes. When you read the back of the badge and it said it's a federal offense to have this outside of the White House, what did you do with them? Did you bury them in the backyard? Did you smuggle them back into the White House one at a time and drop 2 in the...
No. No, I just kept them at that point.
Oh, okay.
I figured I was getting perilously close to the statute of limitations on that, so that if I just wrote it out, it was probably the safest course of action.
Yes.
I'm not sure what the statute of limitations is, but it has to be up.
Yeah, I think it's 7 years. I think you're safe.
I'm not going to worry about it at all anymore.
Yeah, I didn't have a case.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm glad because I think that your punishment would be something I wouldn't like. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Krupa.
Yes. How are you?
Hi, Misha. I have a question for you.
Yes. How do I handle it? Is that what you're going to ask? Great question. Sometimes I don't know. Yeah. What was your question?
Well, you play Cass so well.
Good point.
And going back to your original resume, and you were discussing it on the panel with Jared and Jensen. Would you ever resort to bicycle touring like you had written down on your original resume? Or even one of the other qualities?
I would, other qualities, I wouldn't, yeah, okay. I would say bicycle touring is a quality of mine. There was a time early on in my career when I had a resume that listed my special skills. And the special skill, this was a common thing because if you were gonna go, oh, come on! Come on! Shame on you for carrying this pornography around. Man, look at that steamy hunk of black and white. I look identical. I haven't changed at all in 37 years. Oh man, this is like, what? So old. Anyway, I list my special skills that include founder of YCVA, a summer urban youth program. True. Not terribly valuable though for anything that a casting director might need to know. Like, what are they going to do with that information, and why would I share it with them? And then I have accents, Tibetan throat singing, EMT certification, Appalachian clogging, basically a lie. Kayaking, horseback riding, motorcycle license, which doesn't fit grammatically with everything else. Bicycle touring, ice skating, and furniture building. Why would you put that stuff in a list? It doesn't make any sense to me. Bicycle touring, though, is a lot of fun. You should try it sometime. I went bicycle touring a few years ago, right before our kids were born. Me and my wife were like, let's go bicycle touring. We got a bicycle built for 2. We went down to Baja, California, which, as it turns out, has only one road down the Baja, which is no shoulders, lots of trucks, totally deadly. And so we had left our car, and we're like, well, that's not going to work. Let's go off on this side road. So we went down this side road, and it was all just deep sand and washboard. It was like this dirt road. And we made it maybe 15 miles in a full day, and we were exhausted, and we needed a place to sleep. This is a recurring theme I'm finding today. So we had a tent on the back, and we pitched our tent. We woke up in the morning to find that we had pitched our tent in a garbage dump. No joke. Like, woke up and there's like broken glass and cans all around us. We were out in the middle of nowhere, but found a dump to put our tent in. And then we rode on, and Fran, I don't know if you remember when we went down on this trip, but I remember distinctly, you were like, do not take any rides from strangers, it's not safe. And so we were like, got it. So we rode another day, we got to this little village, and we decided this is it. It was just miserable. We couldn't make any headway, it was really hard, and it was again nightfall, and this was like a rough little town. Like there was just one little bar, and everybody was drunk, and we're like, guys, it's getting dark. Could anyone give us back a ride back to the main town? And this guy was like, yeah, I'll do it. And he had a pickup truck, he said, and so he showed up in his pickup truck, but he showed up also with like 2 other guys who were really burly in the pickup truck with him. And they're like, yeah, we'll throw your stuff in the back, and then my friends are gonna get it in the back with your stuff. And we're like, now it's dark, by the way. And we were like, no, we'll stay here. We'll stay back here with the stuff. And so we started driving. We're going down the road, and all of a sudden the truck just veers off into this salt flat, and he just gunned the engine and drove into the darkness off the road, and then stopped the engine. And I was like, this is what it's like to know you are about to die. And I had this little, like, small Leatherman tool, you know? And so I had my Leatherman out, and I was like, I guess I'll just start stabbing people. And they got out, they killed the engine, and the headlights are just pointed out into the salt flat, and me and Vicky are, like, holding each other, and I'm holding the knife. And they circled around the back of the truck, and they leaned on the back of the truck. And they said, how are you doing? And we said, we're fine. And they said, okay, great. And they hopped back in the front. It was a shortcut through the salt flat to the town, and it was like an easier road to drive on, I guess. But we were certain we were gonna die. And I handled it, I think, not well, because I did tell Vicky, who was very frightened herself, I did tell her, we're going to die. So anyway, that's a recent bicycle touring experience, which was quite wonderful.
Thank you, Misha.
Thank you. Wow, that was a good story.
Yeah. Oh, you're here?
Yeah.
Hi. Oh, the band can't play.
Yeah, the band left.
Oh, because we have the luau coming. Who's going to that? It's going to be great, but it means that we have this very sort of lackluster transition moment here with just Spade
tell you something, man.
at the drums.
It definitely speaks to your value within the framework of the company. And they're like, F the band. Spade, go sing them off. It's really the biggest insult you've ever been handed. All right, answer one more question. Do it.
Okay, all right.
Make it quick and snappy.
Okay, wow, that's great banter.
I'm
right
being
there.
Norton. You know how he is.
Hi, how are you?
Misha. Did Gishwa's last 2 years, had a blast. Always try to explain it to people and mention Random Acts and everything and all the good they do. So thank you for always spearheading that and giving us ways to give back.
Thank you for saying that. It is very difficult to explain.
It is.
Yeah, so I'm sorry for that.
When the people ask you about it, what is your favorite thing that Random Acts has spearheaded or been a part of that, maybe not the biggest, but maybe the one that's closest to your heart that you just go, we did that?
There are a few things that Random Acts has done that I feel really super proud of and really happy to have been involved in. I think that building the Jacmel Community Center in Haiti was really awesome. It's just a beautiful building. Everybody that was involved in the process of constructing this thing, that's like an orphanage and community center that's in Haiti. And it was built by the guy that was sort of in charge of the construction project, volunteered his time. He was a retired engineer for the New York City subway system. And he was like, I will not ever be able to sleep if I think there's any chance that anything could happen to the kids in this building. So we're gonna build it so that it's a 2-story structure. We're gonna build it so that if there was a fully loaded semi-tractor trailer parked on the roof and a 9.0 earthquake hit, it would hold up. And I was like, that sounds like we're overbuilding a little bit because there's no access that you could get a semi up on the roof. But we did, and we did it really inexpensively and efficiently, and it ended up being beautiful. And the woman who runs the Jack Mel Children's Center is this woman named Bonit, who calls me about once every 6 months for a very short phone call. It'll always be a number that I don't recognize, and then and she'll say, may all of God's light shine upon you, and things like that. And it's lovely.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know him, you love him, you're gonna pay to get your picture with him. Misha Collins! He's our come and save me tonight. He's our angel. Come and save me alright. Come and save me alright. You're welcome / I'm sorry, but listen, this is the price you pay for having a freaking luau, Hawaii.